We're talking about the movie They Live with the pro wrestler Roddy Piper. I mean, this movie is the ultimate truth-telling movie, just like The Matrix that was released in 1999. This movie was released in theaters in 1988, directed by John Carpenter. It's about a secret cabal, meaning the aliens, and they take over the world, like through subversion, which is actually a problem in real life, and that's going on with that group from the Middle East that you're not allowed to talk about. And it's funny though too, because there's a caller that calls up Alex Jones, and he brings up the people you're not allowed to talk about. And I've uploaded this video in the past on YouTube, but YouTube takes it down for either copyright or hate speech, which is ridiculous. So I can't upload the whole thing, but I'll give you a link where you can see it on Rumble. Alex Jones interviewing Roddy Piper.
And who are you, little fella? Come to show him where I am. Not nice.
All right, folks, we're brought in with a little bit of the theme music from They Live. The really good part is where it goes, dum dump, dump. But I tell you, it is one of my favorite all-time movies, and it really gets you to think outside the box. And, of course, I grew up watching him on television as well. It's super exciting to have Roddy Piper on with us today from Los Angeles there in Sean Stone's living room. Both guys are with us. And, you know, it's great. I've gotten to be good friends with Jesse Ventura. I know these two guys are friends as well, or have been in the past. And so now I get to talk to both of them. And Mr. Piper, formerly, of course, born Roderick.
Thank you very much for having me. Would you mind just introducing me every place I go? Fantastic introduction.
Well, it's great to have you on. I tell you, so much is happening in the world, but let's get into They Live. You've been in a lot of movies, but what's your take on the 25th anniversary of They Live?
It's really interesting. The movie They Live, when it was made, was more about Reaganomics at the time. But with as the music lulls you to sleep, conspiracies, one of the things that the movie has done is it's taken on a life of its own. It never gets old as we see the world evolve and try to make us a little chip. The same thing's happening over and over again. You watch They Live, and it gives you, it's kind of like the Cliff Notes for what's going on.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, you've got the part where the drone flies over you, and you go, hello there, my little friend. And now I've actually videotaped drones twice in Austin watching people at the park. Now I'm actually into consciousness and how to get people out of the Matrix. And films like The Matrix and films like They Live do that like no other films can. And we, of course, have Sean Stone and Mr. Piper on the broadcast with us. Ready to take some calls?
You betcha.
All right. Let's go to Will in Georgia. You're on the air with the legendary star of They Live. Go ahead.
Thanks, Alex. That's a great movie, Roddy. You did a good job. It's a true ministry. On the They Live, I actually married into the they part of They Live, that control the New York, L.A., Sodom and Gomorrah axis, Hollywood, Babylon. And they taught my kids every morning on Saturday during worship services that everybody wasn't part of their tribe, was subhuman animals, cattle, just like I said in the movie. And they actually put that, I mean, the preacher, the rabbi, would tell them that your job growing up, and from birth they told them this, is to cheat, lie to, rob, enslave, and kill all the Gentiles.
All right, well, listen, do you have a specific question, sir?
Well, no, I mean, it's just, we're Whigs. Our focus has to be on the Creator, who's named the sovereign of the United States, the creator of the universe.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate your call. We've got questions or comments for our guest. we don't screen calls, so sometimes it becomes a soapbox. But there are always subgroups within any culture that teach that we're the best, everybody else. I mean, look what we say about the Arabs when we go invade and attack them, and then, you know, or what happened to the American Indians. I mean, this is something that goes through cultures everywhere. But, I mean, I guess the movie They Live does speak to class stratas, but I think it's more about individuals being psychopaths and sociopaths, about how they could be black, they could be white, they could be German, they could be Jewish, they could be Chinese. There are people genetically, I think, who really aren't human.
Well, Alex, I was going to ask. Actually, I wanted to ask Rowdy that because, you know, I'm really curious to know where that story came from because Carpenter wrote it, and I mean, he must, you know, in your interaction with him, I'm sure you came across some interesting discussions as to what he thought, you know, who they really are, and does he really believe that they are aliens?
Yeah, who is they exactly?
Yeah. At that time in '88, I think it came out in '88. They was the propaganda